Hey guys, Francis. Today is Monday, January the 27th, 2025. This is my trade review. We'll start off with the market bias. We were let's look at here. We were definitely a bearish bias today. You can see the market gap about 2% at the time um, it opened. It pushed back up for the day, but it was about 2%. Same with the Qs. A little bit more precarious for the Qs just because it was up until this trend line and there's a rising 50 that was about to meet, but nonetheless it was a bearish bias today. We'll start off with the first trade. I was looking at net for a sell. So what I saw was on the monthly you got one, two, three, fifth month up. Weekly is not too bad, but on the daily you can see this was actually a red. It held the trend line here, but you got one, two, three, fifth day up today on volume. So that's what was attractive about this stock to me. You can see here it's over 200% ATR at the time for the full day, but when I was trading this it was about 150. So let's drill down a little bit of what we did. I put down these little markers on areas that I would have shorted, and these arrows where I actually got in. So I would have put in a put put option here, here, and here. I would have added a lastly on the 131. So based on the average, I think I should have an average above 129 area, and this goes down to like 127 eventually, or at VWAP. So I think I would have got the 30 cents. Going back to the stock trade, I had to average this in twice. You can see here, I think I got it at about 129. Then I tried it again at 130, and then eventually it just tagged me out. So that was that. Sorry, let me double check. Sorry, the first average was 128.60 area, and then I averaged again when it hit above about 129.50. As it got up here, I had to get out because it broke above this area. It just tagged me out, so I lost a little bit over an R. I think it's about 1.2. Let's see. Actually, it was about just one R, but with the slippage and spread, is about 1.2 as far as dollar is concerned. But I decided to go back in this right away. You can see the very next bar I went back in, and this entry was at 130 by 131. Just because at this point it was over 200% ATR, I was feeling pretty confident it was supposed to come back down. You got the rising volume. I presume this is ending volume. And this goes down all the way to 128. Because I got a bit of a good fill, this ended up being 2.45 R for this trade. As you can see, it goes back a lot more than that. My next one was an Apple scalp. This one was a little bit more aggressive. I don't think this was necessarily a good trade overall, but what I saw was as it pushed back up here, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 bars up, and then a doji. I actually shorted it right here, 228. I gave it $1, but my goal was about half R or so. I would have gotten it, but this started getting a little bit jiggy. I thought it was going to hold this area. But what I felt comfortable about this area is if we looked at the daily in 65, right there at 228, you got some support here, and then the 50 that was coming down. So I was looking for a quick scalp. If I stuck with it, I would have got my half R, but we pretty much sold this for break even. Second trade I took was ABT, very similar to net, an overextension, 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth bar up. You got 150% for the full day. I ended up going in at 128.50. My fill was not that great, so I think I got fill at 128.34. I forgot to add, I messed up on my order, and I sold right here at 129, I believe. Yeah, 129 I sold. I was gonna average at 130, which it never got above anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered. This trade wouldn't have worked either way. But I lost about half R on here. And then the last trade I took was Zim. Again, same thing. I felt like this was an overextension. You see on the 5-minute, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bars up, and it now pushed one more time. So I shorted it right here. I think I got in at 1796, right at this area. I gave it 1820. My goal was to trade it down to the VWAP area. It was going good for a little bit, then it started bouncing up. and I wasn't confident in the price action, so I let it go for, we'll call it break even. It's green, but pretty much break even. It tipped over, and then eventually I would have got my 1R right there. So all in all, today is 1.15R. I just gotta tighten up these scalps a little bit. Just let it run, let it play. Um, but yeah, so overall 1.15R. It was an average day. That's my trade review for Monday, January 27th, 2025. Thank you.